Hey entrepreneur, this is Mark Newsom, Mr. Marketing. Welcome to this special presentation entitled How and Why You Simply Must Have the Right Mental Picture in Your Head, or at some point, entrepreneur, you're going to self-destruct. Introducing a powerful lesson you can learn about real ability versus perceived ability. Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to discover the number one reason why far too many extremely intelligent people, not to mention capable, struggle and never ever reach their true full potential. So here's a question for you. What does this full-blown adult elephant, this baby elephant about a year old, an ordinary spool of thread, that large metal stake, what, if anything, do they have to do with your small business and or services long-term success? Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, the power of having the right mental picture is ultimately going to decide your long-term chances for success. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this picture here. This is a full-blown adult elephant, probably a male. Do you have any idea what the average weight is of a fully grown adult elephant? It's a staggering 12,000 pounds. Entrepreneur, let that sink in for just a moment. Now contrast that to this. Look at this baby elephant about a year old. Want to take a guess at what their average weight is? It's about 1,200 pounds. In other words, typically, the baby elephant weighs about a tenth of the size of a full-blown elephant. Now, why is that significant? Follow this. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know that in order to keep that 12,000 pound adult elephant in place, typically all the owners have to do is take an ordinary spool of yarn and tie it around the elephant's neck? On the other hand, that 1-year-old baby elephant, they take this large metal stake and a thick steel chain and place it around the baby's neck. Now, at first glance, doesn't your gut need reaction and your common sense say they have this backwards? Shouldn't they have the giant stake and the steel chain? Shouldn't that be around the adult elephant's neck? After all, they're 12,000 pounds and the baby elephant is only 1,200 pounds. Well, here's why they do it. When that adult elephant was a baby, they used the same thing, that large metal stake and that steel chain, and they drove that metal stake into the ground. And over the years, as that elephant struggled and struggled and struggled and struggled until they grew into adulthood, they never ever were able to escape. So eventually they concluded that any time there was something around their neck, it was in fact that chain and that stake driven into the ground. On the other hand, the baby elephant, you see, hasn't quite been conditioned long enough to know the difference. So that's why they have to do the exact opposite for the baby elephant. Now, of course, when you hear that story, you think, well, okay, Mark, that's fairly interesting, but what, if anything, does that have to do with my business? Well, try this train of thought. Two people are driving across the desert. One of them saw the cactus. What did the other one see? Las Vegas. So here's the point, entrepreneur. When you look in the mirror of your life and tomorrow's possibilities, what exactly do you see and why? There once was a little girl who had a lot of issues. She had a lot of obstacles thrown at her. But you know what? Over the years, she changed what she saw, and she eventually grew into the icon that we know as Oprah Winfrey. So here's a question, entrepreneur. When it comes to your long-term life's vision, is it Cactus or is it Las Vegas? You choose. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this little demonstration has given you a powerful insight into the hows and whys of what all of us need to do to get better. Now, for those of you who want to discover how you can add an additional 25% or more gross profit to your bottom line in the next 90 days or less without adding any new customers or clients, then entrepreneur, do yourself a favor. Grab this free 9-page special report, and you can get it at youcanmarketonlinenow.com/sales. This is Mark Newsom, Mr. Marketing. Looking forward to being with you next time on the Marketing Minute.